I prefer to think of him as Ambassador Bush because that, as we all know, is the most prestigious title. During the 2000 campaign and prior to that,
given the profound scope of the affected areas and the human suffering that still exists, some are frustrated by the pace of the progress to date. And let me assure those who are concerned that resources have been and will continue to be moving through the pipeline in the region. In fact, I'm told that some 80 to 90% of the private funds that were pledged have already been committed to designated NGOs. But to be sure, much work remains to be done to refine the process by which public and private resources are directed into the region. The region needs to get the monies that have already been pledged and committed by the American people. We're all anxious to see the rebuilding gain a greater sense of momentum.
You know, and we were down in Houston the other day, and we're going to get this done. But I can tell you again, between now and the first of next year is by far the hardest period, practically and emotionally. It's going to take time to get the governments to appropriate this money and then time to get this money out. And the affected countries will be far better if they can use the government appropriations coming from the U.S., the EU, Japan, and others, I believe, on long-term reconstruction efforts, except for what the aid agencies in our country and others are already going to do on the specific problems. Therefore, now is the time when we need help from the private sector, and we need this NGO money released. And I understand why nobody wants to release it until they're confident that it can be effectively spent.
As President Bush asked me to repeat again how, but let me ask first the Indonesians headed by the minister and the government.